Hello and welcome. You're watching Festive Sentimeter and I'm Manisha Gupta. The festive season has begun in India and with it comes the age-old tradition of gifting something sweet to the loved ones. From bustling offline sweet shops to the rapidly growing online delivery platforms, we're all spoiled for choice. Over the years, India's love affair with sweets has only deepened. But the way we consume and purchase them is undergoing a big transformation. From traditional sweets like laddoos, jalebis to modern delights like figs barfi and rasmalai tiramisu, or health-conscious options like low-sugar, sugar-free and guilt-free sweets to innovative packaging and premium gifting options, the Indian market is adapting quickly to changing consumer behavior. Joining us now to discuss the expectations from the festive season is Sid Mathur. He's founder and director at Delhi-based Khoya Mithai. Sid, hi, thank you so much for joining in and happy festivities to you. Well, it clearly has been a big market trend change that we've seen over the last few years. What can we expect this time around and what are you readying yourself for?
Well, to be honest, I think the market trends are a few. So number one, we've seen over time that a lot of people want to sort of go beyond mithai. So there's always now from a mithai space, we are now looking at gifting, so the mithai, of course, is the main component. But I think one part is that gifting part or the element of creating some sort of a hamper, we're seeing more and more. And the other part that's definitely quite prevalent is the customization. There's a lot of customization now going on. A lot of people don't want to take something that's off the shelf. A lot of people want to design their own boxes. They want to design their logos. They want to choose a ribbon. And sometimes we even specifically make mithais or savories made to order for them.
All right. Sid, clearly it is the era of customization, even for packaging for that matter. Would you say this change has come in the last 4 or 5 years and do you see it sustaining? Also, would you say bespoke really is the buzz right now and people are willing to spend that extra for that?
Absolutely. I think that over the last few years, there's been a resurgence of mithai to be acceptable again. I think when we started the brand, our idea was that at one point it was only good enough for sort of kings and courts, and it became almost something that became the lowest common denominator, something that was almost commoditized. I think now with a lot of people getting back into recreating the magic of mithai, we've seen this trend happening where people are now primarily looking at mithai but adding a lot of value-added products, like what I mentioned, across the board, across different products, a lot to do with nostalgia, a lot to do with, we have a chicky product, for example, that's very, very popular. And yeah, and we also have a good bench strength. So we are able to create a lot of bespoke products and a lot of bespoke packaging.
Sid, I would agree with that. From a whole generation that moved on to chocolates from traditional mithais, would you say it's moving back in now to traditional mithais again?
Yeah, I hope so, because I mean, I always say when people ask me, tell me about your brand, I say it's like going back to the future. So, at one point when I was growing up, mithai was wonderful. It was great. And look forward to so many different types of mithais that you would eat as a child. And over time, I think that became almost, like just something that was very sugary, something that was very rich, things that were not packaged well. And the importance has sort of gone. And I think that's a lot of that has come back now. So I 100% know that mithai is getting a massive makeover. And I think that it's allowing the entire market to recreate a lot of magic that we may have lost over the past 20, 30 years. And it's quite wonderful to see a product that is actually has so much history, so many wonderful anecdotes, so many brilliant stories coming back again, and it's honestly a great feeling.
Sid, is it also about sugar-free, gluten-free, guilt-free even, and how are you tackling with those kind of demands?
To be honest, of course we have a wide sugar-free range, and we do have a lot of products that are healthier. I think the key word is, I mean, I think for us, we have a stronger hold on the north part of India. And here people like healthier. I'm not sure if they like healthy. As soon as you say healthy, they're like, what have you not put inside? They immediately second guess the product. So we do have a lot of products that are healthier. We're using a lot of great ingredients. A lot of times we are using baked products instead of fried. And of course, we have a sugar-free range. But to be honest, that accounts for a very small part of the sale that we have in the year.
Sid, you're also into food consultancy and you have some eating joints as well. With the way you've spread yourself out, what's the plan going forward with Khoya Mithai?
Well, we have partners in every business, and at the moment, we are spending a lot of time and attention on Koya. Koya has a huge growth potential. We do have a couple of restaurants. One's called Bomba, one's called Nico. Both of them, if I may say so, doing quite well and growing quickly too. So I do find enough time to manage all of it. But I think that anything that has to do with food is in our veins, and we just really enjoy it. It's barely a day of work, to be honest. It's a lot of fun.
So it's always interesting to ask the person, the head of the business, really, on what their favorite product or what are they most enthusiastic about. So within your spread, which is your favorite?
You know what? That's unfair, but I would say keeping Koya in mind and festive season coming around the corner, I think the premise of the first thing we ever created and we ate and we thought, oh, you know what? I think this is we can taste the difference in this mithai, and I think and let's now move forward with the brand. And that was a coconut laddu because as a child, I used to love the coconut barfi, but it was very like syrupy and super sweet. And we tried to make a better version of that, or a version that we thought was a little bit more relevant for today's audience. And that was a coconut laddu. So till today, it's something that's very close to my heart and typically in my stomach every few days.
All right. So from laddoos to beverages then, and that's yet another area that you work with. And savories is another thing that you added along the years. How is that business doing?
We have come to realize that, as we evolved over time and people went from, okay, give me a mithai, now give me bigger box of mithai, now give me more mithai, and then we switch into a lot of different products. Savory has been something that we've really enjoyed seeing in terms of how our clients have reacted to it. Is done really well. And of course, I mean, everybody in the universe knows Haldiram's valuation of $10 billion, and majority of their sales comes from savories. I think savories is a key part of our growth also going forward. We went from a range of 6 savories to 18, and we're still growing and improving on that. So we're really excited about the savories and a lot of our other products that we have. And I feel that we are taking a lot of time and effort to create products which actually have nothing that in Koya has any preservatives, additives, colors, flavoring, essence, none of that. So so what you get is a much better version of what you may have been able to have in the house, and hopefully that taste will prevail and we get repeat orders.
So, Sid, even as you are flourishing in the space that you are, how would you look at the competition as more brands enter the space, whether it is about regional, local, national, even international brands are now eyeing India, especially during festivals?
No, I mean, I honestly, I love it. I just love the fact that more people are getting into this segment. I feel that it was overlooked for so long, and I honestly feel wonderful when I see other players that come into the market. I actually feel happy because I feel that it's getting the importance that it is. And look, there's a 90 to 100 odd thousand crores worth of mithai, business in here, so there's enough to go around. I'm sure that the pie is big enough for all of it, but I do really enjoy seeing what a lot of other people are doing. They're bringing different parts. Some are modern, some are doing different regions of mithai, and I feel everybody is welcome. It's really wonderful to see it. It actually makes it validates the product and the future of mithai for all of us.
All right. We're wishing that this festival is really, really sweet for you. Thank you so much, Sid Mathur, for joining in and taking us through, of course, that sweet journey of yours. But with that, we move on to our next guest of the show. And as the festive season brews across India, coffee is emerging as a premium gifting choice. Prices have softened by 13% in this week and nearly 8.5% down over the month. And this could give demand perhaps that much-needed festive push. Joining us now to discuss how much coffee India consumes is Praveen Jaipuriar. He's CEO, CCL Products. Mr. Jaipuriar, hi, thank you so much for joining in. Well, first of all, how are you looking at the Indian markets when it comes to the consumption? And how are you reading at the good demand growth as we go ahead from here?
So we kind of, divide the world into two markets. One is the mature market, which are largely the Western markets, which is the US and the European markets. There, the consumption pattern seems to be at a steady state. They are already evolved and well penetrated as far as coffee is concerned. So not much of new things is happening on a large scale, but yes, new patterns like premiumization of coffee, specialty coffee. These are certain new trends that are emerging in these mature markets. And then we see the developing markets, which is largely the Chinese and the Indian market, which are fast developing into a good coffee market. So right now, a lot of out-of-home consumption in coffee is happening in these markets. And slowly, when people start getting used to the palate, because in both these countries have been largely and traditionally, tea drinking economies. So it takes a while for people to get new taste on their palate, and as and when it happens, then the in-home consumption increases. So that's the pattern that is likely to evolve in these two economies, which is again good news because these are two very large economies, with largest two population in the globe. So that's good news because it will help drive the coffee consumption. So what we have seen is that the consumption patterns are evolving differently in different parts of the world, and we are pretty much at it because back end we are doing a lot of work on specialty coffee to feed into this whole new culture of specialty coffee that is evolving in the mature market and in the developing market, both through our B2B and B2C vertical. We are trying to make sure that we have a play here and help the coffee culture grow as much as we can. So that's again from a organization perspective, it's good news that coffee consumption is growing, and this will help companies like us do better and better in the future.
Mr. Jaipuri, you're at CCL. How are you looking at the festival season? Are you coming up with coffee hampers, gifting different flavors? How are you approaching it? Can we expect more newer products from CCL?
So yeah, I think we are doing multiple things here. One is we have come up with a very, reasonably large gifting portfolios. We are targeting, B2B sales with these gift bags. We are targeting B2C sales with this bag. Recently, we launched our, premium brands, Barkol in the market, which is for the very evolved consumer of coffee. We have also launched flavored coffee. So lots of, food being one thing where people do look for lots of flavors. And these days, everybody has their own choices. In a family also, we see that, somebody prefers some kind of coffee, somebody else prefers something else. So we are making sure that we have a cup for everyone. And that's how we are looking to play in the festive season. We have new, campaigns going, lots of work happening on the quick commerce, e-commerce platform. So yeah, lots of work. We have our plates full, and we're looking forward to this whole festive season, especially in this whole regime where the GSTs have also reduced, which means that there will be an increased spending by the consumers. So we are looking forward to tap into all of these.
Oh, well, yes, absolutely. GST is a great enabler, as we have seen. That is the view coming in from various sectors. But also, how are you looking at the growth this year? What is the kind of Indian and global demand growth that you are seeing this year and perhaps the next as well?
So we basically, globally, the mature markets, they grow at a very small pace because they're already very mature. The coffee is penetrated. So they grow at low single digits. So we are looking to kind of, make sure that we gain market share in these markets and keep our volume growth aspiration at around 15 to 20%. As far as the Indian market is concerned, there a lot of out-of-home growth is happening right now. We are not too much engaged in the out-of-home segment. We are largely into in-home segments through our B2C foray, and that is growing at a very healthy clip of around 30 to 40%. We are, we are hoping to continue the aggression here and the growth momentum, and we look to grow at similar pace in the Indian market. So that's how we have kind of, balanced our growth in the international and the Indian market.
Mr. Jupiter, finally then, going forward, are you also looking to launch tea even for the sake of it, because India is a tea drinking nation? Or are you looking at other products, or just coffee is it that you're looking at to continue to grow, or is there more in strategic pipeline?
Yeah, there are, and tea, not for the sake of it, but interestingly, we do a fair bit of coffee vending also. And when you do vending, you start kind of offering tea as well, because you have to offer the whole array, the both tea and coffee. Let's say if you're putting a vending machine at an office, you have to kind of cater both to both tea and coffee. So we kind of had to do that, and when we started doing it, we figured out that we kind of have developed the back end chain for it. And we said that with the kind of distribution that we have created, the brand equity that we have created, it probably we could also have a play in this category as well. So right now, nothing big. We are still selling institutions, but that play has started to grow a little big. We will definitely evaluate and see if we can have a play. Also, we were looking to supplement our coffee with a couple of other categories, because the distribution, when you start penetrating into more outlets, smaller outlets, more markets, you also need more product categories, because that's why most of the FMCG companies you'll see have multiple categories in their portfolio. So that's something that is there in our minds. We have been evaluating. We are right now, micro testing one category, which is the snacks category, traditional South Indian snacks. So we are seeing if we could kind of enter this category. Right now, we are test marketing into very few outlets in Hyderabad. We want to get our act right. Once we know that, okay, we have got the thing going, we will expand that. So hopefully in the coming months, you will hear more from us on that front as well.
All right, Mr. Jaipuria, thank you so much for joining in. So that's interesting numbers that you have put out for us, that India's B2C demand growth seems anywhere between 30 to 40%. I mean, that's a huge number there. And we are glad to know that from coffee, it's also about tea and perhaps some South Indian snacks that we can see coming in from CCL this festival season. Well, with that, it's time for a quick break, but don't go anywhere. We will discuss how consumers are buying gold this festive season, especially when it trades at all-time highs. This is on another side.